Hello, Acres of Diamonds audience. This is Scott Gibbs, and I'm here with co-founder DJ Ligori, and we are here for Daily Diamond number 49, approaching the wonderful, wonderful number 50 soon. Looking forward to that. So, DJ, last week we weren't in such a good spot, were we?
No, we're better now. We're better.
No, yeah, we were a little down on ourselves.
Yeah.
Little playing the victim card and boohooing a little bit. But we're back. We're back. And DJ actually came up with the discussion that we should do relative to the topic today. And it has to do with gratitude. And that's fundamentally, DJ, isn't that kind of what got us out of our funk?
Yes, I completely think it's what got us out of our funk. You know, basically what happened when I was watching that video, the last week's Daily Diamond, where we discussed, how we were feeling based upon the election and the things it was making us feel, negative feelings. And it made me think about a little event that happened a couple weeks ago in my life. I was at my grandparents' house. We had cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody was there. We were celebrating the October birthdays. And I was sitting at the table with my grandpa and my father, and my father, who, this is not his dad, this is my mother's dad. We were sitting there and we were talking about, the year 2020 and how difficult it has been and the challenges it has brought to everybody globally. And my father said, 2020, people might say this might be one of their shittier years. This might be one of their bad years, you could say. But he looked over at my grandpa, and my grandpa in 2020 beat cancer. And he looked over at my grandpa and he said, "But 2020 was pretty good for you, wasn't it?" And I looked over at my grandpa, and my grandpa just kind of smiled a little bit. And he said, "It was a damn good year."
Wow.
And it made me realize, with all this stuff that was going on in the world, racial injustice, COVID, the election putting us in these bad moods. That simple moment made me, watching that last video, I thought about that simple little moment that I had and the gratitude that I felt and how thankful I was to have, my grandpa, someone I love, to have him still there hanging out with all of us, the king of the family sitting at the head of the table, hanging out with his whole family. And it made me just kind of ponder a little bit on all the things that I was thankful for. My friends, I got the greatest friends in the world, hands down. My family, my sister and my parents and my extended family. The fact that I have a roof above my head, I have, clean water. I have clothes to wear each day. Actually, last week we posted something on our Instagram page that said 10 signs that you're doing well in life. And it was 10 very simple little things. I mean, the last thing is you're breathing. So it was all these very small little things. You ate today, you have a roof over your head, you wish good upon others, you strive to be better, you have a dream. Small little things that we might take for granted because we're constantly maybe focused on larger pictures of our life. And, if we want to hammer anything home today, it's to be gracious and to be thankful for the little things that we have in our life, because they can make the world of a difference.
Yeah, and I think, you and I talk about the mind being a goal-seeking mechanism. If you look for gratitude, you'll find it. If you look for reasons to be grateful, you'll find them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be 4 years this week that Marcus passed away. And I had, I guess it was probably a year after he passed away, I was working down in New York City, and I went to this grief group of 10 sets of parents who had lost children to overdoses within, the last few years. And it was the first time I was in the group, and I was to speak last. And the exercise that each of the sets of parents was to follow was to tell the group 10 things they remember loving about their child. And about 6 out of the 9 sets of parents that spoke said it took them a very, very long time to come up with the 10 things they loved about their child. I couldn't believe that. When it came time for me to speak, I said, I feel guilty. And they said, "What do you feel guilty about?" And I said, "I literally do not have a negative feeling or emotion or memory about my son.
Mhm.
None. I mean, we never had that kind of contentious relationship. Um, and I'm grateful for that, right? I'm grateful that when I think about my son, I'm thinking about, Keuka Lake, right? I'm thinking about all the family vacations that we've been on. I'm thinking about some of the quirky things, quirky jokes he used to play around the house. I'm thinking about skydiving with him. There's all these different things that I think about, and none of them are negative. And I'm
Mhm.
grateful. I'm extremely, extremely grateful for that.
Mhm.
Um, I at the same time, I wake up, DJ, to your point, to get me out of funks a lot of times, I'll say, geez, I'm grateful to have a roof over my head. I'm grateful to have shoes on my feet. I'm grateful to have a wife that loves me, have children that love me, parents that love me, friends that love me, right? And friends that I can love, and parents that I can love, and a wife that I can love, and children I can love. So, to your point, fresh water,
Mhm.
right? Fresh air, roof
Yeah.
over our heads, all those things matter. And if we slow down just a bit,
Mhm.
we can find things to be grateful for all the time,
Yes.
right?
All yes. And that is something that we both have talked religiously about slowing down and understanding the things that we're so fortunate to have in our lives. um, I was actually listening to a podcast a couple days ago, and it actually talked about being thankful for people who you don't even know how they have contributed to your life. And I was like, wow, I'm interested to hear how this gets spun. And essentially what they were saying was, thinking about people who built the building that you might work in, people who built the computer that you might work on, people who manufacture or built the clothes that you now wear, the food that you now eat. I mean, it was, the way that they were digging into it, I was like, wow, we are all way more connected than we all really think. And we need to be thankful for much more than we are discussing right here. Gratitude is something. It's such a selfless act. It's such a respectful act to be thankful for all of the good that we have in our lives. Last week we focused on some bad, and that's acres of diamonds. We like to be neutral, and we like to be logical and honest. um, we want to shift. We want to lean more towards the good way. Let's.
Yeah, for sure. It was unusual for both of us to have that period in our day or night, that
Mhm.
that particular point in the week where we were both focused on what we didn't have, right? We
Yes.
were focused on the negative instead of the positive, and it happened that we were both doing it at the same time. And um, it was a great learning experience for me.
Yep.
That as much as I've tried to recondition my brain to be more grateful more often,
Hmm.
it takes consistent focus, right? Or you end up the way we did that day.
Hmm. And one thing too that I think makes a huge difference is when you when you consciously practice acts of gratitude, you feel better. You
Yeah,
genuinely feel better. Um, I've heard things before that say, what's the fastest way to make yourself feel really good? Go do something good for someone else.
yeah, for sure.
What's the fastest way to make yourself feel strong and feel valued? Go help someone with something. Um, you know, Gratitude is what we make of it. So I think, and let this also be a point that every single one of us will slip into the negative at some points in our
Right,
lives. You
right.
know, People are probably have a perspective of us that we're two pretty positive individuals, and we try our best to use that positivity for good and to help spread that progress oriented life to anybody who wants to listen. But at times we do slip, and at times we will get into these dark spots and these dark places. But it's our job to get out of them. And a great way to do that is to practice gratitude.
I agree, DJ, and I'm grateful for you because when I got on the call today, I wasn't in a very good spot, and you helped me come out of it. So thank you very much. I'm grateful for that.
Hey, well, I'm grateful that you gave me the opportunity to.
All right, Daily Diamond number 49 in the books. Thank you very much.
Thank you.